Hello guys, welcome to Amrutha IAS Academy and myself Paarumanchala. So this is the second session which we are going to discuss about the economy, basic fundamentals and concepts. Okay guys, so we are going to continue the session. So hope I am audible to you. Andarki kuda vinipistunda? Yes, please okasari respond avandama. Please respond. I am audible guys? Yes, please do respond here. Hi Kumaraswamy, good evening. Hi Harnath, hi Mahi, hi Pragati, good evening. Hi Ravikant, very good evening Amma, a very good evening to you. Yeah. So regarding this yesterday's class, do you people have any doubt regarding this yesterday's class guys? So before going to start this second session, I'll just have a 2 minutes or 5 minutes revision regarding this yesterday's class, okay? Ninati class ki sambandhinchina emana doubts unnayama? Of course, once again I revise it. Ee lopala students ane vallu vastaru. Let the students come. So before the students come, okkasari manam revision cheddam, okay na? So welcome to basics of economy guys, okay? Once again meeto interact avutana. I'll just interact with you. Hi Anil Kumar, very good evening. Hi Raghu, very good evening. A very good evening to you. A very good evening to you, Amma. Yeah. So what we have discussed in the yesterday's class, guys. So what is the definition of economics, right? Economics ante definition adi I have clearly explained it, guys. Okay. So it has been originated from the Greek word called okios. As you can see clearly, okios meaning in the household and nomos meaning the management. So I think I have clearly explained with the chair concept, right? Yes, I have explained with the chair concept. Now what do you mean with this economics, household management? So here the resources are very limited. The resources are very limited, but the wants are unlimited. So we have to manage this, okay? The resources, okay, are very limited, but the human wants are unlimited. So managing all these things is known as the household management. I think I have explained with the shopkeeper, right? I have taken the concept of chair, okay? So you have went into the market, definitely 1000 rupees, and obviously if you buy with the less price, you have bargained it very well and you have utilized your resources effectively. Am I right or wrong? Yes, I think I have clearly managed it, okay? So economics is the study of relation between the satisfying the unlimited human wants, satisfying the unlimited human wants with the limited resources. I think I have explained each and everything in detail in the previous session, okay? Yeah. Now, so who are the producers? Obviously the business sector, they will be producing the goods. I have clearly explained it. And the consumers, so obviously those who buy the goods and services, okay? So resources are limited and the wants are unlimited. So optimum utilization, okay, effective and efficient utilization of our resources is known as this economics guys, okay? Yeah. So economics deals with and how an individual and society allocate their scarce resources to satisfy their needs or wants is known as what we call this economics guys. So obviously you have the problems of choices or not? Yes, you have the problem of choices, what to choose, which to choose, because you have so many desires, you have so many wants, but you have limited resources, okay? So మనందరికీ కూడా కోరికలు అనేది ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి, ఓకేనా? కోరికలు అనేది అనంతంగా ఉంటాయి, ఓకే, అపరిమితంగా ఉంటాయి. కానీ మన దగ్గర ఉన్న వనరులు అనేది ఏదైతుందో, ధనం అనేది పరిమితంగా ఉంటుంది. సో ఆ యొక్క ఆ ర్యాప్ ఏదైతే ఉందో, మనకున్న ఆ ఫ్రిక్షన్ ఏదైతుందో దాన్ని మనం అంటాం ఎకనామిక్స్ అని చెప్పేసి అంటాం, ఓకేనా? యా. సో ఆఫ్టర్ దట్ I have discussed the definition of what is economy. What is economy guys? So the production, the distribution and consumption, okay, of goods and services in an economic system, okay, is known as the economy. So ikkada economic system ante enti? What do you mean by this economic system? The economic system consists of the individuals. Economic systems consist of the individuals belonging to the household sector. You know, the economic system consists of the business sector which belongs to the firm, and the economic system consists of the government sector which it will be managing all these things guys, okay? So obviously the government has to satisfy their needs also. Yes, obviously they have to purchase these goods, obviously they will be selling these goods and services. Yes, managing all these things. So it is an economic system. So household sector, business sector, and the government sector consist of this economic system. And what they do? So production. So production is done by whom? The business sector. The production is done by whom, guys? The business sector. So the business sector produces the goods and services, and it will be releasing into the market. Okay, and obviously the consumer can't come to this manufacturing company and buy all these goods and services. Am I right or wrong? So obviously the production is done by at one place, and obviously the distribution network. What is next? Okay, what comes next, guys? Obviously the distribution network. So the warehouses, the transportation, obviously they come under the distribution network. So it will be released into the market. So once it is released into the market, these goods and services which has been released into the market, and how does it get to the customer, and how does it get to the consumer? So obviously the warehouses or the wholesale dealers or the retail shop owners, and obviously the delivery boys, retail shops, all come under the category of this distribution network. So it will be distributed through various means of transportation. It will be distributed with the various means of transportation, guys. Okay, and finally the consumption. So who will be consuming? Obviously the household sector. Who will be consuming these goods and services, guys? Obviously the household sector. So the household sector are the final consumers or the end users. Final consumers or the end users, guys. Okay, so they will be consuming these goods and services in the market. So what is the purpose or what is the objective of these consumers? Yes, to satisfy their needs. Am I right or wrong? Yes, to satisfy their needs. Okay, so to satisfy their desires, their needs, their wants is known as the end customer. Okay, so which directly satisfies the needs of the customer, is consumption. So I think they will be purchasing the goods from this market. So I think I have explained all these things in a very single figure. I think you can check it, guys. Okay, you can check it in the previous session. Now I think the next topic which we have discussed is about the primary sector, right? So what are the subsectors in the primary sectors? So the goods which are naturally available. Am I right or wrong? So what are the subsectors, guys? I think I have clearly explained it or not? Yes, I have explained it clearly. The farming, okay, the farming or the crops come under the primary sector, and obviously the livestock, fisheries, forest and logging all come under the category of this primary sector. And finally the quarries and mines. Am I right or wrong? Yes, quarries and mines come under the category of what we call as the primary sector. So these are naturally available. So what is a common feature of all this primary sector? These are naturally available in the market. So these are naturally available on the earth, not market, on the earth, guys. Okay, so we produce the raw goods, we produce the raw materials like cotton, sugarcane, leather. You know, I think you people already aware of this one, right? Yes, we produce the natural goods, and the cost of these goods or the cost of these raw materials are very cheap in the market. They are very cheap in the market, and most of the goods are perishable good, guys. So in the today's session I am going to discuss what are perishable goods, non-perishable goods. Don't worry about it. First let me finish this primary sector, secondary sector. Obviously this is the second session, guys. It is a revision session. Already I have discussed all these things in the yesterday's session. Those who have missed, please go and check it my first session. I would have already discussed in detail. So I am just revising it. Okay, so secondary sector. So obviously what are the subsectors which come under this secondary sector? One is the manufacturing sector, and the second one is the construction, and finally gas, water supply and power generation comes under the category of what we call as the secondary sector. Okay, so these are used to produce the final goods. These are used to produce the consumer goods. These are used to produce the finest goods. Okay, so by utilizing these natural resources, by utilizing these capital goods, they will be producing this what we call this final goods, which satisfies our needs, which satisfies our wants and desires, guys. Okay, so I think I've just given a brief idea. Now as you can see clearly, the pharmaceutical companies, the cloth manufacturing, electronic manufacturing, energy, I think these are the topics which I have discussed in the yesterday session. So till here I think I have discussed the first session. Am I right or wrong? Now we are going to continue the second session. In this second session I am going to give the difference between this agriculture sector and primary sector, secondary sector and the industrial sector. Then I will move on to this tertiary sector, quaternary sector, quinary sector, types of goods. You know, there are various basic fundamentals which I am going to discuss it, guys. Yes, before going to start, please tell me, do you have any doubts regarding this one? Yes, and this class is particularly targeted group is the English medium, guys. Please tell me. Sir, Telugulo chepte inka students add avutaru. సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ తెలుగులో మనకి ఆల్రెడీ ఉన్నారమ్మా. సో తెలుగు ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఈజ్ అవైలబుల్. సో చంద్రమౌళి సార్ ఈజ్ డెఫినెట్లీ అవైలబుల్. సో you please listen to this sir class. This is completely English medium amma. So please make sure that, I know the students who are from English medium background are very less, I do know, but still, so we are okay. Apart from that one, apart from Telugu medium, Telugu చెప్పాను కదమ్మా సతీష్. సో ఆల్రెడీ మన సతీష్ సార్ మన చంద్రమౌళి సార్ డీల్ చేస్తారని చెప్పేసి, యా he'll be dealing the Telugu medium. ఆల్రెడీ మనకి వీడియోస్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. So you can go and check your Amrutha app and definitely you can find all the Telugu medium videos. Okay namma? Okay, this is completely English medium background. Okay, so మనకి ఇంగ్లీష్ అనేది చాలా ల్యాగ్ ఉంది కదా మార్కెట్లో. సో ఆల్మోస్ట్ నో వన్ ఈస్ దేర్ టు డూ గో ఫర్ దిస్ ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం. అది కూడా మన నేటివిటీకి తగ్గట్టుగా ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియం అనేది చాలా రేర్. ఓకేనమ్మా? తెలుగు వీ హ్యావ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ థింగ్, and in our own Chandramouli sir will do this Telugu medium. Okay, so apart from this Telugu and English, do people have any doubts? So shall I continue? Yeah, I think I'll just continue guys, continue chestanu. Yeah, so meeku emana madhyalo emana doubts unte I'll definitely come back to you guys. I'll definitely come back to you, so please don't mind. malli manam okasari mana classes anedi మన చాట్ అనేది కంటిన్యూ చేద్దాం. ఓకే, యా ఐ థింక్ ఐ విల్ స్టార్ట్ ఇట్. యా బిఫోర్ గోయింగ్ టు స్టార్ట్, యా నౌ ఇన్ దిస్ సెషన్ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు కంటిన్యూ వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ద ప్రైమరీ సెక్టార్ అండ్ ది అగ్రికల్చర్ సెక్టార్, ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ద ఇండస్ట్రియల్ సెక్టార్ అండ్ ది secondary sector. Now in the previous session I think I have clearly discussed what is primary sector or not. Yes, in the previous session I have clearly discussed about what is primary sector. So what you have to do is, from this primary sector, if you want to derive this agriculture sector, you should have the subcomponents or the subsectors of the primary sector. So obviously the primary sector, one is the crops, second one is the dairy farming, one is farming, second one is the dairy farming. I think I have clearly explained it, right? And the third one is the fisheries. And the fourth one is the forest wealth, and finally the quarries and mines. Am I right or wrong? Yes, the quarries and mines. The fifth one is the quarries and mines. What you have to do is, in order to derive this agriculture sector, what we have to derive guys? We have to derive the agriculture sector. In order to derive this agriculture sector, just remove the quarries and mines. If you remove these quarries and mines from this primary sector, or if you deduct this quarries and mines from this primary sector, so what is the leftover guys? What is the leftover subsectors? Obviously the cropping, right? Yes, crops, definitely the dairy farming, and just writing in the shortcut guys, the third one is fisheries and the fourth one is forests. Now you see these come under the category of agriculture and its allied sector. These come under the category of agriculture and its allied sector guys. Agriculture and its allied sector. Now you are understanding the difference between the primary sector and the agriculture sector. So you have to subtract, or you have to remove, or you have to omit, or you have to deduct the quarries and mines. Then only you can get the agriculture and sector. The only difference between the primary sector and the secondary sector, and the agriculture sector is the quarries and mines. Now what is the difference between the secondary sector and the industrial sector? So what are the components, or what are the sectors which come under this secondary sector? What are the components which come under this secondary sector? The first one is, obviously I have clearly explained it, is right, manufacturing. The first one is the manufacturing, and the second one is, obviously people already know, the construction, right? Yes, the construction. And the third one is gas, water supply, and obviously the power generation. What you have to do is, so we have deducted this quarries and mines, right? Yes, just add that quarries and mines here. If we add these quarries and mines, and if we sum up these quarries and mines, then automatically we get the industrial sector. We get this industrial sector guys. Very important and very easy. So now the conclusion point is that, I'll just summarize it guys. This quarries and mines, shall I say, it is playing a football or a cricket ball, obviously, right? So if we add these quarries and mines, okay guys, if we add these quarries and mines, you can check it here guys, if we add these quarries and mines, then it is known as the primary sector. If we add it, it is known as the primary sector. Am I right or wrong? Yes. And if you remove this primary sector, if you remove or deduct these quarries and mines, obviously what we get is the agriculture sector. What we get is the agriculture sector. Okay, if we deduct these quarries and mines, from this primary sector, then we get the agriculture sector. Now the same quarries and mines, as you can see clearly, the same quarries and mines. So it has been included. So if the quarries and mines has been included, then obviously we get what we get guys, industrial sector. We get this industrial sector. Am I right or wrong? You can check it from the previous slide. So obviously if you add it, then definitely you have this one guys. And finally, if we deduct these quarries and mines, obviously you have this secondary sector. Am I right or wrong? So there is a lot of difference between the secondary sector and the industrial sector or not? Yes. Very simple, very easy. So if we add these quarries and mines, then it is known as industrial sector. And if we deduct these quarries and mines, then obviously we get this agriculture and its allied sector. Very simple, very easy. So don't think too much guys. So this is a bit which you have expected in the previous group 2 examination. If you want, you can go and check it in our previous year group 2 question paper. You can find this answer. So what is the difference between this agriculture sector and the primary sector? This is one question which we have expected, quarries and mines. And do you know another question? So the second question in which we have we have encountered. So this gas, water supply and power generation. Now tell me, it comes under which sector guys? Does it come under this agriculture sector? Does it come under the industrial sector? Does it come under service sector? Does it come under what you call this primary sector? So this is the question which we may expect in the examination. So most of the people think that this comes under the service sector, but since you have already listened to the class, I think you can easily interpret that it belongs to the service, secondary sector. So obviously this gas, water supply, obviously power generation comes under the category of secondary sector, not the service sector. Now I think I have just concluded. So just concluded what is what guys? What is this primary sector, secondary sector? Now I'll just directly jump into the service sector. So before going to jump into the service sector, this comes under the invisibles. First what we have to remember, so this comes under this invisibles category. So obviously, right, yes, this comes under the category of invisibles guys. Very, very important. Now what is the difference between these goods? What is the difference between these goods and what is the difference between the services, goods and services? What is the difference between the goods and services? Goods are visibles or not? Yes, these are visibles, which we can touch, which we can feel, Am I right or wrong? Yes. Obviously we can satisfy our needs or not? Yes, definitely we can satisfy our needs. Now what is the service sector? So service sectors are visibles or invisibles? They are invisibles, but which we cannot touch guys. We cannot touch, okay, and which we cannot see. We can only experience those services. We can only experience or feel those services guys. For example, if you are going to a restaurant and if you are having dinner or lunch or whatever it is, obviously the taste of the food will be very nice, obviously, definitely. Now what you will be recommending your friend? So you will be recommending the food is nice or their hospitality or services are nice or good, not nice or good. So obviously you say that the services in that particular restaurant are awesome. So definitely, the service sector, you are feeling, you are experienced that food and the ambiguity of that particular restaurant guys. That is the reason, you make sure that the services, are invisibles. Okay, like for example, another category, the banking and the financial sector. Do you think you can see it? No, you can only experience this banking, insurance. Am I right or wrong? This banking, insurance, and obviously the education. You can't call them as education good, right? Educational services, obviously the transportation services, real estate, health, okay, health services, health and medical. So the health services, okay guys, these all come under the category of service sector. I think you people are already aware of this one, but I am just giving a brief idea. So about this service sector guys, even the professional services like IT services, right, real estate, housing and dwelling, these all come under the category of what you call the service sector guys. Very, 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 very important, as you can see clearly. So the doctor, the teacher, the transportation, these industries provide service. Even our communication, I think if people, you will be using this mobile phone or not? Yes, definitely we are communicating it. Yes, we are communicating. So obviously these all come under the category of airports, seaports, etc., comes under the category of service sector. I think you can easily answer this one. Okay, yeah. So of course I am going to discuss about the trends in the service sector. Don't worry about it. So I am also going to give the updates in our mainstream classes. Since these are basics and concepts, I am only stick on to these basics and concepts guys. And finally I am going to discuss about this quaternary sector. Okay, quaternary sector. Okay, so what do you mean this quaternary sector? As you can see on these pictures, don't observe these statements guys, just see these diagrams. So the R&D, research and development, museums. So research and development like DRDO, right, Baba Atomic Park, and obviously people know these museums, amusement parks, these all come under the category of which one guys? These scientists all come under the category of quaternary sector. Okay, now what is the difference between the primary sector, secondary sector, service sector and quaternary sector? So the only thing is that, now if you observe, now I will take it as a primary sector. Obviously the primary sector and the secondary sector, they obviously produce goods or not? Yes, these goods. And the third category is the service sector. The service sector category also have services or not? Yes, they do have them services. So primary sector, so obviously what we can value them or not? Yes, we can value them. So obviously each and every good has some value and the service has some value, right? Yes, we can value them. So how we can value them? The quantity of goods produced, into the price, obviously we can get some value or not? Yes, we can get the value of the good. For example, a farmer, he is producing 10 quinta, okay, he is producing some 10 quinta, and in the market he has sold his food grains to the 2000. Obviously he will be getting 20,000 rupees or not? Yes, each and everything has a value. Even the service network, even if you buy some online courses, like we take our own app as an example. Okay, so if you buy these online services, definitely if you buy these online services, like if you want to buy some group 2 course or group 1 course, IAS course, okay, whatever it is, so definitely you have to pay it or not? Yes, you have to pay. Everything has a value, every service has a value, whether it might be transportation, education, health, whatever it is, okay, you have a value. But now tell me, and they are contributing to our GDP, they are contributing to our national income some way or the other. Now we can clearly see the output, how much they are contributing it. But when coming to this quaternary sector, we can't assess them, okay, we can't estimate how much they are contributing towards the GDP, how they are contributing towards the national income. So now regarding this primary, secondary service sector, they do have some values, but we doesn't have any value to this one guys, how much they have added to our GDP. Okay, so now it consists of the highest level, okay, not quaternary sector guys, quaternary sector, it consists of intellectual and knowledge based activities. Now you see they are completely based on the intellectual and knowledge based activities, like example activities associated with the research and development, the financial planning, museums. So obviously they doesn't guys, of course they have given some extra things, but forget about this. Okay, yeah. Now coming to the quaternary sector. So the quaternary sector, it consists of the highest level of decision making in a country. Now you see this IAS, or the PMO office or the CMO office, obviously they are the highest decision making body in the country or not? Yes, the Prime Minister or the ministers, definitely they are the highest decision making body. So 100%, so these belong to this quaternary sector. It includes the top officials of the government and media and the universities, guys. So with this, I think I have just concluded the types of sector. With this, I have concluded with the types of sector, guys. If you have any doubts, we can post it. Okay, guys, I think I'll take the leave. So there is some technical, I think there is some technical issue.